So this is how much I make, and this is how much I used to make when I started my first job. There's been a lot of things that have happened since 2017. 6 years is a long time, and during those 6 years, I got my engineering degree, I graduated with my master's in computer engineering, and I found my first job in 2020. So if you're someone who is making about the same amount as that first salary, then please keep in mind that you gotta give it time, and you'll be able to increase your income, given that you're taking the right steps to achieve that goal. Now, what do I mean by taking the right steps? How do I do that? How do I go from $20 an hour to $55 or $60 an hour? Well, you're not alone. There are thousands of people who think this exact same thing. So with that being said, I thought I would go over the steps I personally took to increase my income and eventually get a $100,000 salary job. So with that, let's get started. Hello, my name is Sarah. I'm a computer engineer, and this channel covers all things engineering, personal finance, and personal development. So I'm going to start off with my very first job, which was a front desk associate at Planet Fitness. I was getting paid minimum wage, and I worked there for about 5 weeks. Now, this was over the summer, and at the time I was getting my engineering degree. I was also applying to internships at the company I wanted to work for. So I worked at Planet Fitness for 5 weeks, and then I got an offer to be an engineering intern. So I took that and I started working as an engineering intern August of 2017. And from August 2017 to 2018, I was getting paid about $22 an hour. So the very first step is get a technical internship, whether it be engineering, technology, mathematics, or science. Find an internship that will pay you for your work instead of the typical free labor and they say that it's for exposure. Don't do that. That's a waste of time. Now, from 2018 to 2019, as I got further into my education, I got another pay raise. So I went from 22 to 24. And I think by the beginning of 2019, when I was a senior, I was getting paid about $25 an hour. And then I graduated my bachelor's in computer engineering and decided to go for my master's. So once I did that, I ended up getting another pay raise, and I was getting paid about $28 an hour, I believe. And I continued to do that until May of 2020, and I got my master's degree in computer engineering. So from 2017 to 2020, I was an intern. And so that's the next step, is to keep your internship while you're in college. This is a huge one because while you're going to school and you're learning, you're getting paid as well. And not only that, but you're also still gaining exposure and you're networking with the people at that company, and you're more likely to get hired in that company because they know you. So that's a huge one, is to keep the same internship that you had as long as it aligns with your goals and with that degree, so that you're more likely to get hired because you're experienced in that area. That's where you're getting your education in. Now I'd like to go back in time when I just got my bachelor's degree and planned on getting my master's degree. So in August of 2019, I started to apply for openings or job positions at the company that I wanted to work for, which is the same place that I got my internship. And I spent the next 2 semesters just applying to different jobs and letting the hiring managers know that, hey, I'm still in school, I haven't graduated yet, but I do plan on getting my master's degree in May of 2020. But this is what I know, this is what I can do. Is there any way that you'd be willing to hire me when the time comes and when I get my degree? So the next thing to do is to apply for full-time engineering jobs before you get your degree, whether it be a bachelor's or a master's degree. Make sure that at least a year before you get it, that you are applying to those positions, especially at the place that you want to work for. This way you're giving yourself time to apply to different areas, as well as figure out what jobs are available to you and your experience. You're more likely to find a full-time job right out of college if you give yourself the time to apply to more jobs and gain experience in interviewing, what to say and not say when it comes to those specific positions. So that's the next thing, is to apply before you get your degree. But this leads me to my next step, which is to just slingshot your application. Apply to any positions that are available, especially if you're nearing your graduation and you don't have a job or haven't even found any sort of position or potential position. Just apply to any sort of position that is somewhat related to your degree. Something that you're like, okay, I don't really know anything about this, but I still feel okay about it because it's engineering or because it's mathematics, whatever it is. Make sure that you just apply to all available positions, especially if it's at a company that you really want to work at. Now, I had applied to 30 jobs and I did get accepted to one. However, this one was something that I wasn't familiar in at all. It had a lot to do with computer science majors, more so than computer engineers. And I didn't know a lot about like the Linux environment, the coding and everything when it comes to software development. So I had to learn a whole lot when I got hired on. And the reason why I was even in that application, or I applied to that job, is because I ended up just slingshotting my application to all available jobs, because by then it was towards the end of my master's degree and I couldn't find any positions or anyone that was willing to hire a computer engineer. That's basically what I did, and because of that I was able to get my degree and soon after that get my first full-time job making $100,000. I ended up learning and doing more and helping the company, helping my team to grow and to do better, and I eventually got pay raises, and it's mainly due to the fact that I was still very inexperienced in the area that I got hired in, and I had a lot of growth over that year. So the manager noticed that and they gave me a pay raise. It went from 100,000 to 104. And then there was the inflation and everything, so that went up to 113. And finally it landed at about 119,500. And this is where I'm at currently, and this is what I'm making, and this is mainly due to the fact that I'm a lot more experienced than I was when I first started. So the last step is to push yourself to do new things and to learn new things, as well as help your team or the organization as a whole, and that's basically it. So those are the main steps that I took to go from minimum wage to $120,000 a year. If you want to add another step, I'd say the very last step, which is, it just is more of a personal preference, is to get promotions. Helping the company grow, giving your ideas and thoughts, and then showing that to the manager so that you do get those pay raises. But again, it is a personal preference thing, because your income will go up over time because of inflation. It will never stay the same. So you won't have to worry about that if you're happy with what you're making when you get your job. But yeah, those are basically the main 4 or 5 steps that I took. If you're currently on step 1 or you still have your minimum wage job, don't give up, just keep going along. And this is, again, just a guide. These are the steps that I personally took. It may not work for you, but this is something to reference if you have no idea what to do or what path to take. So yeah, I hope you guys found this useful and helpful, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see similar videos, please subscribe. And if you have any other video suggestions, because I'm running low on them, please leave a comment down below. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.